Hello and welcome. This video I'm going to take a look at the Nebula class. Everybody keeps saying they want to see a legendary version of this ship, so I thought might as well do a quick visual video on it. So I'll be looking at the Vanity shields from the Dilithium store. These are available during certain events of the year, and also currently the only shield available in the Zen store as well. Now, with the ship having a lot of customization options, I went for the Ferengi hull, purely because I like the Galaxy class deflector array styling rather than the Nebula deflector styling, and then the rest of it is the Nebula. So the saucer, the mission pod, the pylons, center pylon and nacelles and so forth. So try on a couple of new things based on suggestions from viewers. So I will be doing the engine trail from the shield as well in this video. So each shield will take the ship out for a quick spin, but you see the effects that the shield has on the engine trail. Also, again, doing the very close up of the ship's hull as well. So you can let me know in the comments what you think of that. Then, as always, in the description we've got the chapters and links that I'll cover off at the end of the video as usual. So let's get cracked on with the first shield. So first up, we're going to look at the Alliance Vanity shield. This is currently the only shield available in the Zen store, and it comes part of the Khitomer Alliance bundle. So you get the shield, the uniform and an upgrade. So for the shield itself, we have the white patterned hull material. We've got some of the grey shading and gold shading there, along with some red piping as well. You can see it around the phaser array there. Then we've got the cyan effect there for the deflector, and the orange plasma there for the Bassard collectors. Then we have the cyan there for the nacelle colouring itself. Now have a zoom right in here, so you can see the triangle pattern within the hull material, and you see all the different hues as the light hits it. So you see that on the Alliance vessels themselves, so the Rex, the Garrett, the Khitomer and so forth, and it's a really nice detail that they added into the Vanity shield as well. Then we have the impulse engines, so we've got the red, orange, yellow, white and back again effect. So these are vertical orientation in this ship. Normally we see them horizontal. Yeah, you can still see some of that triangle pattern even in the shade there. Zoom back out. Again, the gold shading there along with the grey on the mission pod there. And then for the underside, once the ship rotates up to the light, again, we've got the gold shading, touches of the grey shading there as well. And we've also got the black there at the front of the nacelles just before the Bassard collectors. Now we're going to zoom out quite a bit here. And we'll get the impulse engines on the go. So it's the standard blue and red there, so the blue from the nacelles, red there from the impulse engines. Moving on to the Dilithium store now. So this is a Safe Galaxy Refit Fantasy Shield. So we have this grey patterned hull material, almost like a urban camouflage. This golden deflector there. Same there for the Bassard collectors. And a lighter gold, yellowish colour there for the nacelles themselves. And we've got the gold there for the impulse engines. Quite a lot of nice detail there on the hull material. And then for the underside, again, it's that grey patterned hull material with some lighter grey sections there as well. And then for the engine trail, got the yellow there from the impulse engines and from the nacelles there as well. Here we have quite a popular shield in the game. This is the Vanity shield. This black hull material. You can see the red really does pop nicely against it. This cyan lighting there. And with the dull cyan lighting there around the outline of the deflector array. Cyan there for the Zhat collectors. Same again there for the nacelles. I'll zoom right in nice and close here. I'll see that lovely red effect there for the impulse engines. And since we're this close in, you can see that etched pattern there on the hull material. Now we look down, you get a better view of that etched design covering that saucer section. A touch up here on the mission pod as well. And then for the underside, again, we've got some more of that cyan lighting there and more there of that etched pattern. Then we'll have a look at the engine trail for this shield. So that's the standard red and blue there of the Federation ships, so it doesn't change with the shield. Next up is the Borg Vanity shield. So this gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel. So we have the grey patterned hull material, and the pattern's made up of various shapes and sizes of hull plating. Then we see this blue lighting and this black shading here, so that's conduit material, so exposed areas of hull, and we'll get a closer look at that in a moment. This lovely patterned blue deflector array here. Now with the blue centred part there of the Zhat collectors. Now you can see it is darkened around the edges. And with the same there for the nacelle colour, so very small amount of the blue illumination, so it almost looks like the engines aren't working properly. And with the blue there for the impulse engines, and there's a close-up view of that conduit material there. And we've even got a touch of the gold lighting there and that conduit material on top of the mission pod. Then on the underside again, got some more of that conduit material there. And then the grey patterned hull material as well. We'll get zoomed out a bit, and then we'll have a look at the engine trail for this ship with this shield on it. And there isn't one. So you have no engine trail at all from this shield. Next up is the Courier Raider Vanity shield, so one of the older shields in the game. So you might want your sunglasses for this one. Look at this, almost bare metal colouring for the hull material with some black shading. Now we have this white patterned deflector array, the very bright white Zhat collectors there. And with the white nacelle colouring as well. And we'll zoom in a bit there, you can see the white there of the impulse engines. And as you can see, it's extremely bright there when the light hits it. And again, just that bare metal hull material with some black shading there for the underside. Then we'll hit the impulse engines and see what effect we get. Oh, it's almost bubbling water effect there from the impulse engines. Starts off white and then goes into the red, and then we've got the blue there for the nacelle colouring as well. Here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this is one of the few shields in the game that have different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So Federation Align gets the appearance of Federation vessels from Star Trek Discovery Season 1. Look at this two-tone grey patterned hull material. And with this white with blue spoke effect on the deflector array. The pattern blue with a touch of white there for the facade collectors. Got the deep blue there for the nacelle colouring. And with this honeycomb patterned effect there for the red impulse engines. And you get to see that pattern there to the hull material. Let's get this white honeycomb pattern effect here at the rear of the nacelle, and there at the back of the saucer as well. As we look down, we can see the pattern in the different shades of grey there for the hull material. And the same there for the underside. Then we'll get the impulse engines engaged and we'll have a look at the engine trail. So this engine trail gives you a white engine trail. So that would be more for the Courier one and have the blue there for the nacelles, but nope, it's white on this one, so the engine trails don't quite marry up with the colour of the Vanity Shield effects here for the impulse engines and the nacelles, unfortunately. So here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield on a Klingon aligned character. So I've got this patterned brown hull material. It's supposed to be similar to that of what they tried to pass off as Klingons in Discovery's ships. This lovely orange, yellow and white patterned deflector array. Then we have the red and pulsating white effect there for the facade collectors. And we have this orange, yellow and white pattern there for the nacelles. And we see a touch of the orange and the yellow and white pattern there for the impulse engines. And you see the detail there on the hull material pattern. And again, we're more of the same there on the underside. Then we'll have a look at the engine trails. So we'll get the impulse engines fired up. And we've got white engine trails on this shield. So it does kind of marry up slightly with the impulse engines, and I suppose it does as well with the nacelle colouring. So this is the Discovery Refit Vanity Shield. So it's slightly darker greys compared to the Discovery one itself. You can also see the pattern effect there within the hull material. And pretty much a blacked out deflector with this blue outline to it. And it's very bright white with a tint of blue there for the facade collectors. The light blue effect there for the nacelles. Then we have the red there for the impulse engines. You can see the pattern, almost these seams and creases within the hull material. See a bit of the white thruster there on the rear of the nacelles. We tilt the ship, and then the underside's just that two-tone grey patterned hull material. And again, hitting the engines, so we've got the bluish white there for the nacelle trail, and we've got this orange here for the impulse trail. This is the emerald chain vanity shield. So we've got this various shades of light brown and greyish patterned hull material. And we've got this dirty white. We've got touches of grey and then this really dull white effect going on the deflector. Same there for the facade collectors. You see a bit of the pattern there from the grey, and the same there for the nacelles. Then the same here for the impulse engines. And close up you can see that pattern effect within the hull material. It's nicely detailed. I've said it a few times that the art team do an absolutely fantastic job with the look of the ships and the shields for the most part. The only thing that tends to let the ships down is normally the performance of them, unfortunately. And some more of that dirty white lighting effect there as well. We'll get the impulse engines going, and we'll have a look at the engine trails on this one. And we've got this orange and this bluish white trail there. So again, doesn't marry up with the actual effects of the engines on this shield, unfortunately. This is the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So we have this grey hull material and some purple shading to it there as well. I'll zoom right in. You can make out these blue illuminated dots. So they are throughout the hull material and do give the look of a starfield. Now with this orange and yellow effect there for the deflector with the main parts blacked out. This deep yellow and a touch of white there for the facade collectors, and the deep yellow there for the nacelle. Again, you see that blue illuminated dot pattern here as well. Now zoom in again, good clear view there of those blue illuminated dots. Now with the cyan there for the impulse engines. And I'll just hold it in this light here. You see it does look like a starfield compared to the back there. Yeah, some more of that purple shading there. And you'll no doubt have noticed the force blue lighting there, instead of it being reflective of the nacelle colouring. And we'll get the engines on the go. So this shield does marry up with the engine colouring. So we've got the cyan there for the impulse engines, and we have the yellow there from the nacelles. Here we have the Ferengi Vanity Shield. So we've got this orange patterned hull material. So it's the same that we see on the Ferengi vessels in the TV shows. You can see the rivet detail there as well, along with some gold shading also. And we have this blacked out deflector there, very reflective, just with the yellow outline of the centre part. Then we have this deep yellow patterned facade collector there. The lighter yellow for the nacelle colour. And the yellow there for the impulse engines. You see that rivet detail, then the pattern there within the hull material also. Then the grey phaser strips all as well. And we'll tilt the shit up and have a look at the underside. Again, just that orange patterned hull material, some more of the gold shading and the rivet details on the ship's hull material. And we'll zoom back out a bit. I'll get the engines on the go. So again, another shield where the engine trails marry up with the colouring of the engines. So we've got the yellow there for both the impulse and the nacelles. Next up is the Hur'q Vanity shield. So we've got the green hull material. That's brown shading here as well. Then this illuminated green material, you can see around the edge there of the mission pod and on the top as well. And same here at the front and the rear sections there of the saucer. We have this green patterned deflector array. Got the green there with a bit of a pattern around the edge of the facade collectors. I have the green there for the nacelles. As I zoom in, again more of that illuminated green material there. Same along here, that also blends into the impulse engine colouring, which is fine enough, also green. See a bit of shading giving this textured effect here as well. Then for the underside, in that green hull material and more of that illuminated green material as well. We'll have a look at the engine trail. So these are very deep yellow, so not quite the green of the engine colours on this shield, unfortunately. So next up's the Kelvin Divergence Vanity shield. So like the Discovery one, it does have two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, we are getting the look of Starfleet vessels in the reboot films. So we've got the grey patterned hull material. This lovely blue patterned deflector array that's meant to represent that of the Enterprise in the reboot films. Then we have this facade collector effect, which is that of the Kelvin in the first reboot film. It normally looks absolutely awful, but it's not too bad on these facade collectors because we've still got the red inner part there. Still not my favourite effect of the facade collectors of any of the shields, but it's not as bad as it is on some ships. Then we've got the blue and white there for the nacelle colouring. Then we'll have this different shades of orange there for the impulse engines. And just almost a standard Starfleet look to the ship with the hull material. And the same there on the underside. get the impulse engines, so it's the standard red and blue off of this shield. And here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity shield on a quite annoying character. Then we've got this various shades of green there for the patterned hull material. Got some of this yellow illumination there as well. I've got this lovely red patterned deflector array. Nice bit of cyan lighting there in the centre. We have the yellow there for the Bizarre collectors. Now we've got this blue pattern for the nacelles. Then we have the red there for the impulse engines. And you see the detail there on the hull material. And then on the underside again, just the different shades of green there for the hull material and some more of that yellow illumination. So you also got the yellow there on the nacelles, just behind the Bizarre collectors. Then for the engine trails in this one, see red and blue. So if that blue had been slightly lighter, it could have probably married up quite nicely, but this is just the standard engine trails. And here we have the Prodigy Vanity shield. We've got this lovely grey patterned hull material. See this orange and yellow, very bright deflector array, and with the blue and white there for the Bizarre collectors. Mixture of the dark and lighter blue there for the nacelles. Then we have the red there for the impulse engines. And you can see the pattern detail on the hull material there. And we see the blue effect there of the thrusters as we angle the ship. Then for the underside again, it's just the lovely grey hull material. Then for the engine trail on this one, got the red there from the impulse engines, and then this larger, lighter blue there for the nacelles. So it does marry up with the shield quite nicely there. Another very popular shield in the game is the Section 31 Vanity shield. So we've got a couple of different shades of colour here for the hull material. I'm going to zoom in a bit. You can see this check pattern within the material as well. And we've got a blacked out reflective part of the deflector with this blue outline and the cyan centre part. This just looks a very angry Bizarre collectors, so they are normally blacked out on this shield, and they've left just a touch of red in the centre of them. As you can see as we rotate around the side there, that it is black right the way back. A very bright cyan cell colouring there. Then we've got the red honeycomb pattern again for the impulse engines. Then you can see the pattern effect within the hull material here. And on the underside again, the various shades of hull material, and then this striped material as well. Then for the engine effects, more in line with the effect of the shield. So this is an orangey red for the impulse, and then we've got this brighter blue, which does marry up with the cell colouring there. Here we have the Shrike Vanity Shield. So with this rusty orange hull material with this burgundy shading as well. Then with the yellow and red there with an orange centre for the deflector array. The orange and white there for the Zhat collector, and orange there for the nacelle colouring. Then with the red and light orange for the impulse engines. And you can see some of the pattern within the hull material there. Then we see the red there of the thrusters. And just the rusty orange hull material there on the underside. Then for the engine trail, got this yellow and red effect there. Next up is the Tzenkethi Vanity Shield. So a very busy shield normally. So we've got the green shading for the hull material. You can see the carved pattern there. Also got some grey shading, and then this illuminated panel material as well. And you can see some of it pulsating away quite the thing. Now with the yellow there at the rear of the saucer. Now with this lovely orange patterned deflector with the white centre. The white patterned facade collectors. The white nacelles as well. And also come as a surprise, but we've also got white impulse engines. See that pulsating light effect there. And also got some of this black shading as well. Then for the underside, we've got some black shading there, and more of the green material with that carved pattern in it. Then for the engine trails, they marry up with the shield colouring, so we have the white there for the engine trails. And the last shield currently available in the Dilithium store is the Zhat Vash Vanity Shield. So we've got the olive green and sandy brown shading for the hull material. Got a bright green centre there with a duller green illumination round the outside of the deflector. We have the green and white patterned facade collectors there. Have a lighter, brighter green there for the nacelles. Then we have the red there for the impulse engines. Unfortunately, again, that blue lighting effect, which isn't representing the nacelle colour, unfortunately, there on the underside. Then more of the sandy brown and olive green hull material there. Then for the engine trails, we've got the red and blue, so it's not changing to match the shield effect. And that concludes the look at the Nebula class. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Can you let me know in the comments below what you thought of using Kabali Prime as the location. I was looking at it and I'm still thinking K13 was better for the lighting, but you can let me know what you guys think. You can also let me know what you think about adding in the engine visuals from the Vanity shields as well. If that's something you want to see going forward, I'm more than happy to keep it in future videos. Then we move on to the description. So we have links there for my X and Blue Sky social media, my Real Merch affiliate links there as well for 5% off your first orders. Then we've got links to the STO wiki, the main Star Trek Online news blogs linked there as well. Then for other content, I have Casual Sab, Nick NB, and MC Stu. Their YouTube and Twitch channels are listed, so if you haven't already checked them out, please do so. Hit them up with a sub and a like. It does help everybody out. And they do a whole range of content from news, reviews, builds, Q&As and live streams. So plenty of content there to keep you entertained. And that is all from me. So thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next live stream or the next video.